Hello, I'm Dan Rather, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online edition. Just ahead, Sears and Kmart agreed to a merger, but will the $11 billion deal save the struggling companies? Walmart and Home Depot are still bigger. Also, Congress asked questions about the flu vaccine shortage and got some surprising answers. Also, genetic testing of embryos. It can help determine if a baby will be healthy, but is it ethical? Eye on America investigates. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online edition. When Kmart got into money trouble, it started selling off stores and built up a huge pile of cash. Today, Kmart went shopping and came home with Sears. The two struggling retailers are merging, forming one of the largest chain store empires in America. Kmart says it may close more stores. It would not say how many jobs might be lost. CBS News business correspondent Anthony Mason reports why two big competitors are joining forces.
2 years ago, Kmart was in bankruptcy. Sales at Sears have been plummeting. Today, in an $11 billion merger, two of retailing's most prominent brands announced they'll become a single company.
I think the combination of these two great American retailers, though, will allow us to turbocharge our business.
Together, Kmart and Sears will have almost 3,500 stores and $56 billion in sales.
I think it's great.
I hope they do, keep Sears the way it is.
The two stores will keep their separate identities.
While we will be operating these stores under two different nameplates, the cultures we'd like to be as similar as possible.
Ed Lampert, who'll be chairman of the new company, has been in the news before. Last year, he survived a kidnapping by four men who demanded $1 million ransom. Lampert, who bought Kmart in bankruptcy, has now created the country's third largest retailer, trailing only Home Depot and #1 Walmart, which has 5 times the sales.
If you meet Walmart head on, no one has ever lived to tell a story. So there is no way to compete with a $270 billion colossus.
Walmart passed Sears as the nation's top retailer more than a decade ago. So is Walmart worried about the new competition?
I doubt it.
Retail analyst Christine Augustine says the combined company could still be in trouble.
There is an enormous amount of competition out there, very strong competitors, and I think it will be a difficult road.
And some analysts believe both brands may yet be doomed.
As a retail entity, in 6-7 years, we won't see either of these companies. They're cadavers.
So you think this isn't going to save either one of them?
Of course not. How can you put two bad companies together and get a good company? Walmart is having a party, and so is Target.
Many analysts also say this merger is not really about retailing. It's about real estate. Sears and Kmart both own some prime locations. The bottom line, two struggling retailers may just be buying time so they can sell off their best assets at the highest price.
Federal health officials said today it's a mild flu season so far, with some cases of the disease now reported in 28 states. They claim that they can't predict it will stay mild. They also claimed to Congress that there was no way they could have prevented the shortage of flu vaccine. CBS's Cheryl Atkinson reports Congress took shots, casting doubt on that claim.
At Springhouse Manor in Maryland, they're still waiting for flu shots. Nearby, the head of Maplewood Park Place went on a virtual scavenger hunt to find enough flu shots for residents, but health workers are doing without.
We probably have 50 staff members who would choose to have flu vaccine if they could, and have not.
With flu spreading throughout the country, Congress released new documents showing FDA rejected its own experts' advice on Chiron's troubled British plant. FDA inspectors wanted to force Chiron to fix serious contamination problems first exposed last year. Instead, FDA let Chiron operate under a voluntary fix-it plan, then relied on Chiron's assurances it had solved its problems.
FDA conducted oversight by conference call, trusting a stream of false assurances by Chiron that the plant had no serious problems.
British, not U.S. health officials caught the contaminated vaccine last month. Millions of doses had already been shipped to the U.S. Only then did FDA officials reject the vaccine. Now they insist there's nothing more they could have done.
Excuse me. Are you telling us that FDA made no mistakes? Is that,
in this vaccine thing?
Yeah.
No, it never got on the market.
You know, we got a major problem here. The reason why I ask you these questions is that we cannot deal with a problem unless we accept the fact that we have one, that we made mistakes.
We're working to get more vaccine.
The CDC had hoped to inoculate 100 million people this year. Right now, they think they'll be able to squeeze out 58 million doses. And the news doesn't seem to get better. Chiron's CEO told Congress there's no guarantee his company will be up and running for next year's flu season. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
In one part of the world of science, the future is here. Advanced genetic screening for inherited diseases now allows would-be parents to test and choose among embryos. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon reports it's a new technology with many benefits, one that also raises many ethical questions.
This is going to be the nursery.
Very nice. For 3 years, this empty room has been filled only with hopes and dreams for Tanya and Kurt Weber.
This is as far as we've gotten.
They always wanted a big family, but fate had something else in store.
Because it's really hard when you try for so long to get pregnant.
Tanya carries a rare genetic defect in which some chromosomes line up in the wrong place. The result has been miscarriages, the likelihood of severe birth defects, and endless heartbreak.
I wouldn't wish this even on my worst enemy.
But because doctors know exactly what this genetic defect looks like in a developing embryo, the Webers decided to rely on genetic testing to do something Mother Nature couldn't. It's called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, or PGD, in which embryos developed in fertility clinics are screened for genetic problems before being implanted in the mother. Experts like Richard Scott say the science has evolved from brave new world to standard practice.
In 2003, there were thousands of cases.
Using a color-coded computer system, technicians can look deep inside developing embryos to see if all chromosomes are in place for a healthy baby. In this one, they were not.
And unfortunately, there's 3 of them. And that's the diagnosis of Down syndrome.
In the Webers case, doctors looked for the specific genetic defect and found it. They implanted only healthy embryos in Tanya. Now a baby boy is expected in February.
It eliminates, or very nearly eliminates, the risk of having an abnormal child.
But critics liken PGD to playing God, picking which embryos will live and which will die. It is a largely unregulated field with the potential to be misused for non-medical reasons.
It's perfectly legal for a patient to go into a fertility clinic and say, I'm perfectly fertile. I just want to make sure my next child is a girl.
What's next, many wonder? Selecting embryos for intelligence, for beauty? Leaders in the field say it's still science fiction.
We still really don't know what complex of genes code for intelligence, code for great beauty. And so we wouldn't even know which genes to start trying to control in that process.
Society is going to decide where to draw the line.
For the Webers, the technology has been nothing more than a gift, preventing more anguish.
It's not like we were doing it for a frivolous reason.
While helping them realize one of life's simplest dreams.
We were doing it to have a healthy child, that could grow up in a loving home and in a loving family.
Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, Hackettstown, New Jersey.
More stories are just a click away, but be sure to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Thursday's broadcast, a test could tell a star athlete his chances of getting the same genetic disease his father has. Will he get the test? Would you? An Eye on America report you'll see only on the CBS Evening News. For CBSNews.com, I'm Dan Rather.